Hi there, welcome to my vlog series that I'm going to be doing throughout the year of 2025. My name is Joel. Basically, this is just going to be kind of me recapping my weeks as an honours student at the University of Wollongong. So the goal of what my vlog series is going to be is kind of just be my public journal entry, I suppose. Give everyone that's watching an idea of what honours might look like in Australia, especially in New South Wales, even more specifically at the University of Wollongong. And the reason I want to do that is because when I was kind of looking for public entries of what what honors looks like in Australia, it was kind of hard to find any examples that were specific to me. So hopefully with this, I can kind of give that avenue for someone out there if they're looking for the same thing. So yeah, basically my honors project will be the entirety of my honors. I don't have any coursework to do alongside my honors project. So 80% of the mark is going to be based on my thesis, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get the little rubric and I'll put that up somewhere. So my honours project is going to be based on organometallic chemistry. So if that's something you're interested in or know about, cool, awesome. You're in the semi-right place, I suppose. So without further ado, I guess I'll start my recap of week one. So week one of honours, and that was just lots and lots of orientation stuff. I think they were introduced like 40 or 50 faculty staff. I genuinely cannot remember all the names. I probably won't need to know all the names. Hopefully I'll be able to just ask my professor and they can tell me who I need to talk to or point me in the right direction. There was lots of inductions into buildings and that kind of thing. So it's like, what building I need to be in, can I get keycard access to that building, what I need to do to get keycard access, key access, whatever else. And in addition to that training, there's also the specific training I need for all the equipment. So like safe handling of gas storage vessels, safe handling of liquid nitrogen, NMR training, mass spec training, risk assessments, working with hazards and chemicals. I'm just reading off a list here because it's just so many that I had to do. Computer workstation ergonomics, which I never would have thought I would have to do. Mental health awareness, which is like, yeah, fair enough, good to know. Plus so many other like little niche documents. I think there was a lot that were like kind of repetitive, kind of the same thing over and over again, but that's the process, the work health and safety process, I suppose. So all up, I probably spent about 3 days alone on orientation documents, which just took way longer than I thought it would. And I thought I'd get keycard access a little bit quicker, but I didn't get that until Friday. So I didn't really get in the lab or really have access to the office I've been given at the University of Wollongong for my honours year. But yeah, that was kind of the first week. So I got into the lab on Friday. I talked to my professor earlier in the week and sort of got an outline of like what our first goals are, what our first milestones are going to be for my project. Got given some papers to read through to kind of base my experiments on. Yeah, more or less to summarize the entire first week, it was get inducted to everything ASAP. Then we can test our starting materials, then start setting up the laboratory because it's a pretty new laboratory. It's not really set up yet. So it's going to be kind of cool to be there for that process of setting up a laboratory for the first time. Granted, there's a lot of stuff left over because it used to be someone else's lab, and they kind of, when professors leave, they kind of just leave all their stuff there as well. So that's going to be fun to sort out eventually. A lot of mystery liquids, that I like to call them. Mystery brown. I don't really know what's in the mystery brown. Mystery brown scares me a little bit, but we don't know what to do with it because it's not labeled. It doesn't actually say what it is. It's just ominously brown. And then once we've got all that done, we can actually start doing some experiments, which is kind of the whole thing. So I kind of want to do like a little mini breakdown of what the week looked like for me. So Monday was the orientation. That was like lots of faculty staff and procedures and all that kind of stuff. Who you need to talk to when. Caught up with a lot of friends from undergrad because most people that are doing honours at UAW came from undergrad. So they're doing like their 4th year of study. I'm included in that as well. I had a quick introduction to like sort of everyone that was in my faculty or my little segment of honours, like the honours subjects that I'm doing, about their projects, who they are. It's good to know. I sort of wrote down a list of all the names because I'm terrible at remembering names. And then we got to do the building inductions. Building inductions I was kind of fortunate with because I had some from undergrad where I did science projects, so they kind of ticked over for me, so that was nice to have. Then there was the risk assessments. Now, doing a risk assessment as a like halfway postgrad, I guess, it's a lot different for what you do for undergrad because for undergrads, everyone kind of knows what stuff you're going to be using, what kind of chemicals you're expected to use. In honours, you're kind of more self-directed, so it's like if you get this wrong, it's on you. Like that's going to be a bad thing for you. Like you need to know what you're dealing with. So that was kind of the day for honours there. So and then that night I just played party games with some friends. That was really fun. I think we played Overcooked. Tuesday, more building inductions. This time I was inducted into building 42, which I shouldn't really need to use, but it's more or less if I have something over there or they have something that I might need, it's kind of more convenient if I can just access it. So I didn't have keycard access to my building yet, so I could, but someone let me in. They knew I'd done the induction, so it's all good. I got to see my office for the first time, know what I'm working with. Pretty sizable desk, it's nice. little bit of an older room, I'd say. It's got that, that mold smell to it, which is fine. I think not really, maybe not. I don't know. It's got a stuffy smell to it, so hopefully that can kind of get dealt with somehow throughout the year. After that, kind of just like had a look, got an idea of what I can do with the space, then just went home and did some more induction stuff, which is more of the training modules for like the different courses that I need to do. But I also needed to go into town to buy some pillows because my pillows are old. Well, they were old and crusty, and I was getting kind of sick of sleeping on them. They weren't comfortable to me anymore. And while I was there, I bought some trading cards because I can't help myself, specifically Magic the Gathering. I bought a bundle for Bloomburrow, if you like that. It's got a bunch of little guys, and you know me, I love my little guys. So that was kind of Tuesday. Let's wrap up. Wednesday. So Wednesday, I actually worked at my casual job that I have, and I worked from 8:30 till 12 that day, and then I rushed pretty much straight to university because I had a guest lecturer. He was a German chemist named, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but I'm going to try my best, Professor Dirk M. Gouldy from the University of Friedrich Alexander University in Erlangen. I'll put the word on the screen because I'm not going to be able to pronounce that right. And that was pretty cool. It was like cool to sort of just sit in the room with like all these smart people, and most of it went clean over my head. I kind of got the gist of what he was saying, but I don't think I have any technical understanding of it. But it's kind of the stuff that I want to do in the future, so I think I should go to more of these seminars to learn what is kind of industry standard, I suppose, or like what is happening in industry. And then I headed over to my lab building to see if I still had keycard access. Still didn't have keycard access. So then I just went home, did some grocery shopping on the way, planted one of my potted tomato plants. That's something I do on the side as well. I like to garden. I like to sort of try and grow my own fruit. I think it's fun. So potted the pot plant one, fertilized and mulched all the soil. So now it's all like actually got some sort of ground covering. It's not just exposed soil. And that was kind of all of Wednesday for me. So Thursday I started pretty early in the morning. I can't remember when, but first thing I did was just make sure that my plants didn't die overnight after being repotted, and they seemed to have settled pretty well, which is cool. I pretty much launched straight over to university because I had training for the NMR facilities, which I think I'd done in undergrad, but I was like, oh, I might need to refresh it just to make sure. Biggest thing was just like if there's a gas purge and you're in the room, the gas is helium, so it's going to fill the top of the room first. So make sure that if you're trying to get out, you either crawl or you go out the lower doors. Because if you try and go up, you're just going to asphyxiate yourself, and that won't be great. Had another building induction as well for another building, just to make sure I could be fully accessing all the other buildings with no issues whatsoever, so that's good. Then I just dropped some things off at my office, which is just like a little laptop dock thing for because I'm planning on bringing 2 monitors into university because I want to make sure university is the place I want to do most of my office work, so I can separate home and work, I suppose. And I think that would probably be beneficial for me as a whole. So once I'd done that, I headed home, did some more gardening, did a little weeding, and I put the seed punnets that I was trying to grow into the soil because I was trying to grow them out of the soil before, but they weren't really holding any moisture too well. So I figured if I put them in the soil, then they might hold moisture a bit well, surface area and all that stuff. Got some tomatoes, tasted awesome. After I'd done all that, I started to try and do a write-up for the first experiment that I plan on doing at university. Pretty much learned that everything that we're dealing with is either unstable in air or it's going to explode in air. So everything's going to be glove boxes, and that's going to be so fun. Then I stayed over at a friend's house for that night, and it was pretty fun. And that brings us on to Friday. So Friday, I think I was on campus at like 8:30 or something like that because I came in with a friend. And I set up a temporary desk over in the other building because I still didn't have keycard access in the morning. So I said, screw it, I'm just going to hang out in this other building next to my friend and just do some more of the stuff that I was doing the night before, which is just more experiment design, writing up stuff, getting an idea of what the process is going to look like because I'm kind of a methodical person. I like to have the process pictured in my head before I do it. And that was all up until about 12:30 p.m. And that's where I attended another set of lectures. These are actually local chemists and biologists who actually work at the University of Wollongong. And these two were quite special because they were the people that received the Publication of the Year Award for Molecular Horizons at UOW. And both speakers, Nick Mazzano and Jesse Michael, definitely earned their place for that award. Like, they did very cool stuff. It was quite interesting to read about, especially I was quite fond of Jesse Michael's stuff because it's more in the realm of chemistry. Nick Mazzano, a lot of that kind of went over my head. So that wrapped up, and then I pretty much headed straight over to my lab building to see if I could access my lab, and you wouldn't know it, I actually did have access now, so I could go in there. As I was going in there, I ran into my professor, and they pretty much said, oh, cool, you have keycard access, do you want to do some experiments, or do some work, I suppose. And what we wanted to do was just test our starting materials, make sure our starting materials weren't garbage. You start with garbage, you finish with garbage, basically. That was what one of their rules was. As I said before, everything that we're doing is air sensitive and moisture sensitive. And it means it can pretty much ignite on contact with air or water. So glove boxes and schlenk lines are going to be our best friends. So everything's going to be like either under vacuum or under argon atmosphere, because otherwise it's just going to be Boom. We even managed to get an NMR run before the day was out, so that was pretty cool. I think we finished up like 3:30, 4 o'clock or something like that. Then I just let the NMRs run and headed home because it was Valentine's Day and I wanted to buy some flowers for my Valentine. They were all out of roses, but who would have thought they'd be out of roses by the end of the day? But the kind stuff was like super sweet actually, and they made me a bunch of like these they got a bunch of preserved flowers and made a bouquet out of that, and I was actually really thought it was really, really cute. And then after that, I went and picked up my Valentine, and we had dinner at Roy's Resto Bar, which I hadn't been to before, but they had nothing but good reviews, and I really wanted to see what they were like. And the vibes was awesome, the food was awesome. It was a great experience. I loved it. It was great. Hope that bar does well. Hope they keep doing what they're doing. And that was pretty much the end of that day because we had dinner quite late, 8:45. I think was the best booking I could get, and then we just headed on home after that. So that was good fun. So that brings us on to Saturday. So Saturday was a really nice day. So first thing we did, we went out to have a walk out to Rogie Beach. After that, we went to Bunnings because I wanted to look at some plants to try and get an idea of what I want to do with my front garden because it's pretty hideous at the moment. We kind of moved in recently and kind of just making the place a little bit nicer for us to live in, make it look a bit nicer. So once I kind of had enough looking around at Bunnings, we went over to Mount Kira because we wanted to have lunch up there and also just sort of look around and see what was around. And I kind of forgot how cool Mount Kira is. I haven't been up there for quite some time, even though I've lived in Wollongong for about 5-6 years now. It was pretty cool. There was like lots of nature stuff, obviously, monuments, artworks, that kind of, lots of graffiti, so much graffiti. It was everywhere. And I think my favorite thing that we found up there was one of those little padlock things people put when they're like a couple, they put their little padlock in and scratch their initials into it. I thought that was really sweet. And people even go up there and they like every milestone for their relationships, like every 1 or 2 years, they go up there and they put a new padlock on it. I think that's really sweet. It's going to do a power run of what we saw. 5 Island Monument, Big Termite Mound, more nature, and then we'll pretty much like said, well, let's just go home. I'm a bit tired. We've had pretty 2 stacked days. Went home for the day, and that was kind of it. Sunday, that's today that I'm recording, and it was a pretty slow start to the day. I kind of think I got out of bed at like 9:30, something like that. And most of it was just me doing chores around the house to begin with, laundry, recapping my week into a little book that I've got on the side because I needed to have some sort of semblance of a script when I made this video because I didn't want to make it too long about talking about nothing. Probably for future vids, I'm probably going to try to do the commentary as I'm recording the footage that goes with it. As nice as looking through the videos after the fact is, I think I need to have some commentary along the line, otherwise it's going to be me talking about my week, which is not really quite the vibe I'm going for in this. But yeah, that's kind of my plan, is to just do this every Sunday, do a little edit of the video, put that up, whether or not it's like a week delayed because, life is life. But yeah, if you have any questions about honours or what my experience has been like at UAW, feel free to drop them down. I either try and answer them in the comments or I'll try and answer them in the next video. Totally up to you guys, or up to me, I guess, really. That's going to be the week in review, I guess. I'll see you in 1 more week, probably. All right, bye.